There's been some drama going on with Warner Brothers axing some projects. And one of the more recent ones that we found out about was the upcoming Coyote versus Acme. Of course, it was based on an article that was done, but the wily Coyote finally getting fed up with none of his products that he's ordered from Acme working and helping him kill that Roadrunner. Well, apparently the movie was pretty much completed. They'd done some test screenings of it. Apparently the test screenings were really good. And then they pulled the plug on the movie, believing that they couldn't make back their budget. Now, some of you may remember that a while ago, it then got announced that Warner Brothers was going to let them shop it around and see if another studio would pick it up. There was even some rumblings of a couple of studios having some interest. Unfortunately, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks have passed with no news of a deal getting done. And now it's sounding like there's not going to be a deal. Because according to a new report, there's nobody willing to pay the price tag for it. This comes to us from the folks over at The Verge who write the following. The movie itself reportedly cost upwards of $75 million to make. That's Coyote versus Acme. The industry analysts say that Warner could be in a position to benefit about $40 million in tax breaks if they write it down as a complete loss. But according to sources, the studio wasn't willing to part with the movie to a competitor for that same $40 million, though, asking rather for an amount which would represent a break-even position for the studio of $75 million. Apparently, no buyer has been found willing to foot the bill. So, basically speaking, Warner Brothers said, okay, we don't think this movie's going to make any money. And listen, to be fair, until they announced they canceled it, nobody was talking about this movie. Like, let's just be clear. Let's not pretend anything here. Nobody was talking about this movie. Nobody ever mentioned this film as one of their most anticipated films coming up and stuff like this. I was intrigued by it. We talked about it on our show. But it is what it is. So Warner Brothers thought, you know what? This thing's not going to make any money in theaters. So if we just kill it, our tax breaks for it will at least recoup us $40 million. Then a lot of people said, give somebody else a chance to do it. So they put it open. But apparently the price tag they were asking for, Chris, was a number that would represent them breaking even. They weren't even looking for profit. They were just like, tell you what, if another studio wants to put up what we put up, $70 to $75 million, we'll let you take it. But we're not going to let you take it for less than that, because then there's no benefit to us, rather than just hand gifting something to a competitor, which apparently they were not willing to do. Now, Paramount even said they were going to do a theatrical release of it, but they weren't willing to give any points on a theatrical release back to Warner Brothers, so it didn't benefit Warner Brothers in any way, shape, or form. Chris, we've been following this for a little while now, not just as an individual story, but kind of as a trend we've been seeing with studios, because now Paramount is removing programming. Disney Plus is removing programming. Netflix removes programs all the time.
All the time.
Disney Plus this is a kind of a thing. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. What did you make of the story that we just got?
Honestly, it's kind of heartbreaking to me because we have seen so many different studios gutting stuff. But I understand at the end of the day, it is the entertainment business. I can talk ad nauseum about how it's all about the art, how it's all about the artistry. But at the end of the day, it is something that needs to make money. So it's a big bummer. And I think that this is, in a very meta way, it's a really great example of the sunk fallacy. Wile E. Coyote spent so much money trying to get this Roadrunner so he could eat it. And he could have just used that money for food, right? And we kind of have this here where so much money went into this film and apparently a lot of love. You know, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, they got to see this and they said it was a fabulous movie, talking about how this had a lot of heart, went into kind of the existentialism of Wile E. Coyote, was an all-time great moment for the character. And Warner Brothers just kept trying to get back that cost, get back that sunk cost. It goes to show you, too, how the kind of streaming model just really doesn't work. When you put so much money into something and then realize, oh, I'm not going to make money from this, you got to think about your ROI. And I think that's been one of the biggest issues with these streaming services, coming up with different movies or coming up with things that they thought were going to go to streaming, then maybe we're going to do a theatrical release, or maybe they do a split kind of thing where they do day and date. You got to think about your ROI, your return on investment. And unfortunately, Coyote versus Acme is a victim of that because it's a great New Yorker story. It's a really funny idea. I really wish somebody picked it up because I love that little dude.
The concept, I think, is great. The concept of it is great. I love it. I've heard some analysts talk about, or some other online pundits mention that fact that there's a generation of people right now who don't even know. Well, everybody knows who Wile E. Coyote is, but didn't watch Roadrunner growing up. There's also a question here of vindication, maybe. The vindication being like Warner Brothers is saying, hey, we don't think this movie can make money. We don't think it can make money. And we put up $75 million to make this movie. And we don't think it can make money. And then when they put it on the open market for any other studio or streamer to step up and say, yeah, we'll take on the $75 million it took to make the movie. We'll take that on and we believe it can make money. Nobody has stepped up. So this is almost in a way kind of vindication for Warner Brothers saying, see, nobody else out there thinks they can profit from this movie with that $75 million price tag that we paid, that got greenlit by the previous administration who ran AT&T. And we don't think there's money to be made. Now, somebody in the live chat was saying, just release the movie. But the problem is, if you release the movie, you now have to ramp up a $20 to $30 to $40 million ad campaign. And that's a modest one for a major theatrical release.
Sure.
So you got to spend another $20, $30, $40 million on top of that. And you don't get that $40 million tax break. So now you're talking about an $80 million swing. Nobody watching this show right now would be stupid enough to do that. It just mathematically doesn't make sense.
Well, I feel like when you're making a movie too, it's easy to be putting money down on something as it's happening.
Yeah.
That's why budgets balloon so much. It's so easy to say, oh yeah, we've got a $45 million budget. Oh, but we need this. Oh, and we have to reshoot this. And actually we lost an actor and we're going to get somebody else who has a higher price tag. All of those things then snowball into a bigger budget. The ask of spending $75 million up front, that's a much bigger ask than, oh, hey, we're going to greenlight a project. You see that price tag up front, you're going to get sticker shock.
Yeah, I mean, look, in an ideal world, this movie gets released in theaters and Warner Brothers is able to make money, but and listen, it's not over yet. Somebody else could still come forward if some studio believes that they can pay the $70 to $75 million it took to make this movie, and they believe they can make a profit from it. It's still there. I mean, they haven't officially killed it yet. Somebody else could step up. But, and Warner Brothers is there saying, listen, if somebody wants to give us $70 to $75 million and we just break even, we'll take it. Give it to us. But nobody wants to take it on and nobody wants to pay for it. Question is for you guys. What do you think is going to happen here? Do you think at some point somebody will step up and actually say, yeah, we think this movie can work and we think it's worth putting in theaters? I would love to see this movie, to be honest with you, because unlike some other people, I did grow up watching Roadrunner and Coyote, and I'd be very interested in seeing this film. What do you think, guys, is going to happen? Jump on down to the comments below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.